G'day there, podcaster. Thanks for listening to this episode of The Pod. We bring back the, I'd say, new segment. We've done it once or twice now, the Impossible Phoner. Tonight's was extra hard. I won't spoil the result. Maybe we got it, maybe we didn't. Stick around for that. Also, the currency quiz, 80 grand was given away. And we did what strange memorabilia are you holding on to? And got some great calls for that. Enjoy.
Live across Australia.
Weird fact, Elon was there, splinting in the grass. He was with Amber Heard. Cool.
Sorry.
Oh, sick one.
This is Late Drive with Ben, Liam and Bell.
No, I just absolutely got shat on national radio. That was nice. On Nova.
Good evening, Australia. Thank you very much for joining us and hanging out on your Thursday night. Liam.
13-24-10. What did they say on the first date? I saw this on the news yesterday. Obviously, Trump won the election. There was a news reporter going around just asking strangers on the street who they would vote for. Have a listen to this.
Who would you vote for?
Trump. He's just a G. Says what he wants.
Definitely Kamala.
We've got a difference of opinion here. Are you guys partners?
No, we're actually on a hinge date right now. This is our first date. Not sure if this is going to work out now.
But you stand by it.
Hell yeah.
He's just a G. Oh my gosh.
It's a good way to find out where you stand early on in your hinge date.
Better off finding out on the first date than like into 3 years of marriage.
True.
Well, that's true. Look, that is Hannah from Brisbane. She actually joins us on the line now. Han, how did the rest of the date go?
Well, it was actually towards the end of the date. So we had just had dinner and we were walking back to the train station and along South Bank in Brisbane. And then the news reporter just stopped us all of a sudden and said, like, Trump or Kamala. And, my date just blurted out Trump and then went on like a 3-4 minute tangent about why, which was all cut. But I was in shock. I was almost like laughing, and I can't even remember all the stuff he said, but he was just rambling about all this Trump crazy stuff. And I think they were in shock too because he was just so abrupt with it. So
Yeah, he just forgot his MAGA hat on the date, obviously. Is there going to be a second date, do you think?
No, there hasn't been a second date. That was like a week and a half ago now. So it was kind of the icing on the cake because there was a few different views on the date, even though politics hadn't come up.
Oh, right. Okay. What kind of stuff?
It wasn't necessarily disagreeing on things. It was more just like difference of lifestyle. Like he was talking about what he got up to and whatnot. And I think at one point he was telling me about when his mates and him were drunk and they chuck their e-bikes in the river, and I was like, this is the type of,
He looks like the kind of guy that would do that.
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
Whereas, Hannah, I stalked your Insta and I see you do marathons and everything, so you are so polar opposite.
Yeah,
The fact that you matched is wild.
I know. I actually moved up to the Gold Coast a few months ago from Melbourne, so I think I'm used to going on dates with that type of, person who wants to go fit and healthy lifestyle, and then that was my first date in Brisbane after work. Maybe not the Brisbane men.
Nah. But what a story, though. I mean, the next date you go on, you're like, oh, man, how bad was my last date was so bad it was on the news. And they spoke to me about it on national radio. Well, Hannah, you're a legend. Good luck on Hinge. I'm sure you'll find someone out there for you.
Thank you. I'm hoping Hinge might sponsor me now and give me a premium upgrade or something.
Hell yeah. Although I don't know if it's a good reflection for them. That's great. Thanks, Hannah.
Thanks, Hannah. 13-24-10 Australia. Give us a buzz. We want to know, what did they say on the first date?
Emma in Melbourne, do you remember what they said?
I do. He told a joke and I understood the joke. I laughed and he said, "Oh, you're not as dumb as you look."
Oh, yeah.
Emma.
Yeah, right. Was that also a joke, do you think? Was it just like a bad joke?
No, I don't think so. I think he was just very arrogant. And I was like, "Thanks for the drink. I'm out of here."
Is it worth asking what the joke was?
Oh, you know what? I can't even remember. It was about 5 years ago and he was just an idiot.
Yeah, don't remember the joke, but you'll always have his response stuck in your head. Thanks for the call, Emma. Steph in Sydney, good evening. What did they say on the first date?
On my first date, the guy actually told me that he was just about a year younger than me. So it was fine, no issues. We got together, and then I was visiting him for his birthday, and we were standing out the front, and a family friend drove past, and his mum said that we were actually celebrating his 21st birthday when he told me at the time he was 23.
So he just lied about his age by 3 years.
Yes, there's actually 4 years difference. But happy story, we are still together.
Oh, that's good. And at least he wasn't celebrating his 16th or something, because then you know, the police would have to get involved. Kirsty in Melbourne, what did they say on the first date?
Well, my husband, we had a wonderful first date, but at the end of it, he said to me, well, I've had a great time, but it's not like we're going to get married or anything.
Whoa.
And now here you are.
27 years. And counting.
Oh, wow. So I suppose he called it wrong, but that's too early to guess for anyone, right?
And I guess he was nervous. I don't know, but who says that?
Yeah, that sucks. I'm assuming that story came up at the wedding as well, that was told there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's hard to forget that one. Well, thanks for sharing it with us. Victoria in Melbourne, do you remember what they said on the first date?
Hey, guys. Yeah, he said, hey, can I put my washing in your car?
Why did he say that?
Well, I was under the impression we were going for coffee, and when he gave the address and I rocked up to his, he just started bringing laundry baskets to my car, and apparently he's wanted to drop them on the way to coffee because his washing machine had broken.
Oh, wow. How did the rest of the date go, Vic?
Let's just say I quickly got him to the laundromat, went and got Macca's coffee. I paid, and then I just got him straight home. Yeah.
Victoria, thank you very much. Going to give you a $50 GYG voucher.
Oh, thank you. That's amazing.
No worries at all. We have got more of those to give away tonight. If you want to get involved, 13 24 10. We want to know, what did they say on the first date?
I bet you can't keep a mewing streak for this whole podcast.
Question for you, Ben. Do you tip?
I do occasionally tip.
Sounds like a no. Belle, do you tip?
No.
Yeah, well, look, I don't, and I feel bad that I don't. And normally it's that awkward thing now. They got the fancy iPad, and you can't actually go through until you hit the big red no tip. And it gives you options. There's 5%, 10%, 15%. Or you can punch in your own amount. And on the weekend, I was out for dinner with 7 friends. I had a few people from interstate, and it was always that thing where you don't really know how to split it. So we said, can we just split the bill? And he was like, yeah, he was actually really cool about it. It's probably a tip-worthy thing. He broke it up into different sections, and I was last to pay. And I had one friend that got me something for breakfast. I was like, hey, look, I'll get your part of the dinner. And because we said, there were 7 people, 7 ways, didn't explain that me and my wife are on the same card. So I had 3 transactions to make at the end, which gave me 3 opportunities to tip the guy. So he handed me the iPad, and I was like, oh, yeah, look, I'll get my friend's half. Pressed no tip, tried not to look at him.
Interesting. He's saving it for the next one.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And then it was the second section.
Yep.
And this time I sheepishly looked up because I was feeling ashamed. And he caught my eye. I knew he was just like, man, I've just split this 7 ways. I didn't have to do this. I was pretty nice. I was chatting to you guys earlier.
Lean, was it a friendly gaze perhaps to go, don't worry, mate, you can get it on the last one?
Yeah, potentially. And obviously I hit the no tip. And then I was like, the last section's actually me. And he's like, silly me, I didn't realize you guys were together. I could have just added it. I was like, yeah. And as I was talking to him, trying to keep eye contact, I was trying to fumble around with my hand to try and quickly be like, no tip. And I'm like, I'm so sorry.
But he knew as well. Split it 7 ways. He's got 7 opportunities.
There was 7 opportunities for someone to go, chuck him 5%. That was, he's doing a nice thing. Sometimes they say you can only split it 2 ways.
He must be real shit at his job.
Well, he was actually quite good. I'm just a shit person, Bill. That's the thing.
W's in the chat for this pod.
I really, really don't think that anyone is going to call for this.
Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to call us on 13 24 10 for...
Have you been on a blimp? Sometimes we do a thing called the impossible phoner. We like to make our lives harder than it needs to be. 13 24 10 if you've ever been on a blimp. We did Have You Been Shot last week. Turns out a lot of people have been shot. I think 6 or 7 people called for that.
Apparently, we did some Googling today. There's only one in Australia.
And there's 25 in the world.
Which
Oh,
isn't
there you
that
go.
many.
20, yeah, because blimps, it's kind of old school. At a certain point in history, people were probably, it would have been like Jetstar blimp, and you would just, if you wanted to pop over to Melbourne Tullamarine Marine or whatever, you'd just blimp it. But planes were just a better way of doing things. Choppers, a little dangerous, but that you still see a lot of them. Blimps, super rare.
It's
super rare.
For some reason, I feel like I saw a blimp a few times in my childhood, but never
Are you
since.
thinking of the appliances online blimp?
I can't remember what was on it, but I have memories of being a kid and seeing a blimp.
I
And
think-
never again. So
I reckon there's one blimp, and companies pay money to like put their branding on. So I think appliances online had a blimp that was going around probably 5 or 6 years ago. But I'm assuming in the blimp there's only like the blimp driver or pilot, I don't know, whatever they are. And then that's kind of it.
This makes it even more impressive. So there is one blimp in Australia. It's 39 metres long, 11 metres wide.
It's a big blimp.
It's the only blimp, not only in Australia, but in the southern hemisphere.
Oh my God.
This is why it's the impossible phoner. I mean, the odds of someone listening right now being like, yeah, I've been on a blimp and calling are so slim. It's so minute.
I would say the blimp is the Bigfoot of the sky.
It is
Have
a
you
little
seen
bit.
it?
Yeah.
Have you not?
All right, Australia, that is the mission tonight. 13 24 10. We have got a caller.
Oh my God. Robert in Sydney. You've been on a blimp.
No, I actually haven't, but I live in Sydney, and there used to be a blimp at Schofield Airfield about 20 years ago. That's all gone now, but there was definitely a blimp. And
Hang on, Robert. So you're calling for you've seen a blimp?
I've seen a blimp.
Oh, get out of here, mate.
It doesn't count, Robert. I've seen blimps. I've seen a Hindenburg documentary, but I've not been on a blimp.
Yeah, no, we do appreciate you calling, but get out of here.
Thank you.
13 24 10. This is the impossible phoner. We have to get someone that's been on a blimp.
Yeah,
if
you have,
that's
to, you have to be on the blimp.
give us a buzz.
Pierre in Sydney, you've been on one.
Yes, I have.
Oh my God, we found someone. Tell us about it.
It was late 70s, early 80s. It was a Goodyear blimp in South Florida. They used to use it to broadcast American football games.
Yeah.
And I was at the airport, and the pilot was just sitting around, kind of very cool, and turned around and said, "Oh, would you like to go for a ride?" I said, "In what?" He said, "The blimp." It was the Goodyear blimp. I said, "Are you serious?" He said, "Yeah, my dad was with me." And he says, "Why not?" My dad was his pilot's license for private planes, and he said, "Yeah, I got to take it for a run before we use it that night for a broadcast out of a NFL game out of Joe Robbie Stadium."
Oh, man.
Wow.
And you were thinking, well, let's get in the blimp. I mean, what could possibly go wrong with blimp travel?
Now, Pierre, that is great. Thank you very much. You've been in the Goodyear American blimp. I'm hearing, though, that it might get even better than that. Sue, in Melbourne, you've been in a blimp.
I have. There was a blimp. It was a promotional tour, and I think it was about 97, 98.
Yeah.
And my boyfriend at the time and now husband took me on a date for an hour's ride on the blimp. We left Essendon Airport, flew through to Melbourne and back again. It was amazing.
Sue, can I ask, do you know how much it cost?
No, it was a gift. It was a promotional. There was a confectionery company, maybe Willow Confectionery or something, and they were literally giving it to their sponsors, suppliers.
Oh,
it was a promotional thing, and we got tickets through friends. Well, he got tickets through friends. It was amazing.
Sue, that is amazing. You've been in a blimp in Australia. Thank you very much. We are getting a couple of calls more now. Tanya in Sydney, you've also been on a blimp.
I have, guys. I've been on the Goodyear blimp in Sydney.
Oh, right. And how many seats on a blimp?
There was only 2 of us in there, plus the pilot.
So, and this is how rare it is. What year are we talking?
So we're talking probably either 1999 or 2000. It was probably 2000 because we went up and we flew over Homebush because they were doing the Olympics at the time. And so we went up at night and we got to see all the Olympic infrastructure, all the... Yeah, it was amazing. It was such a cool... one of the coolest things I've ever done.
Tanya, how did you end up on the blimp? How did you get that spot?
So I used to work for a local newspaper in Bankstown, and the blimp was based at Bankstown Airport for a while, and I got to interview the pilot, and during the course of that, he said, would you like to go up for a ride sometime?
There's not many of these, mate. You want to go for a spin?
I feel like this is the same Goodyear. Yeah. Like he's doing it to look cool in front of kids, to pick up chicks. He's like, I got to take the blimp out for a run anyway. You want to ride? Pretty rare, these things.
Tanya, thank you very much. That was the impossible phoner, and I'd say mission accomplished.
If you put on our podcast as you go to sleep, this one's for you. Oi, stop gooning. The next bit's about to start.
The Currency Quiz!
80 grand up tonight. We don't know what currency it's going to be in yet. We'll find out at the end. Ellie in Sydney, when was your last holiday?
Hi. Hello, hi.
Hey, when'd you go on holiday last, Ellie?
I went on holiday quite a long time ago.
Oh, geez. Well, sounds like you do one. And I tell you what, with 80K, you could certainly do a little bit with that, especially if it was in British pounds. Looking pretty strong at the moment. But first of all, let's get through these three questions. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Okay. Who won the US election yesterday?
Trump.
It was. Don't seem too happy about that.
No.
Rachel Gunn has announced her retirement from breakdancing after she competed in the Olympics this year. What was her stage name?
Ray Gun.
Yeah.
Oh, smashing through 'em.
Here we go. I mean, last question. This is for 80,000 of an undisclosed currency. The CEO of Domino's has announced he's stepping down after 22 years in the job. Can you name one filling you can have in your crust at Domino's?
Cheese.
Oh!
Wait, what?
3 for 3! 3
What?
for 3! You won the cash!
I won $80,000.
Well, no, not dollars. We don't know the currency
Not
yet.
dollars. Some currency.
Some kind of currency?
80,000 of some currency, Ellie. How are you feeling right now?
Oh my God, I'm on my way to the Coldplay concert. They couldn't get any better.
Yeah. Coldplay, 80K.
K.
Cold hard cash. All right. Oh, well, should we spin this currency wheel?
Please spin it.
Oh, God, I'm shaking. All right, here we go. Could it be euros? Could it be US dollars? Could it be Australian dollars? Could it be Japanese yen? Could it be Iranian rials? Or could it be Malagasy Ariary?
What?
You've just won 80,000 Malagasy Ariary.
What's that?
It's
It's money.
Madagascan currency.
Madagascar. Oh, yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah, it's the money.
If
It's the
it's
money they
something,
use.
I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
Did you want us to convert that or?
Yes, please convert it.
$26 Australian.
$26.
Australian, yeah.
Oh. Yeah, know what? $26 is $26.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's the right attitude. And, if it was another day, it could have landed on something a bit bigger. Who was laughing at you in the background there?
Oh, you know what?
All right, Ellie, you have a great night, all right?
Thank you.
No worries. Enjoy Coldplay. I think she's a bit stunned.
Yeah. She'll be crying a little bit harder than usual to fix you tonight, I'd imagine.
You're listening to Len, BM and Lel.
Big news yesterday. Donald Trump is the president again.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you what, it was a wild election campaign. I mean, there was ears shot off. There was some very questionable comments along the way.
What I would say is great for radio hosts.
Oh,
a lot of fodder.
Yeah, you'd come into work most days and just be like, wow, okay, he's working at Macca's. Why is he working at Macca's? Oh, it's because he said Camilla was lying about working at Macca's, so he's serving nuggets.
Yep.
But we thought it'd be a nice moment now to just have a little trip down memory lane and reminisce over the election campaign that was.
After a bizarre and vicious campaign fueled by a desperate need not to go to jail, Donald Trump has won the 2024 election.
Only when it is dark enough can you see the stars.
I will try to fix you.
I've always wanted to work at McDonald's.
How do you like my garbage truck? This truck is in honor of Kamala and Joe Biden. I need water. Help me. I need water. Help.
It is therefore my honor to nominate Ohio Senator J.D. Vance.
The childless cat lady. Would you like to comment on that?
Obviously, it was a sarcastic comment. I've got nothing against cats.
What I've been able to do with the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with, we finally beat Medicare.
The assassin's bullet came within a quarter of an inch of taking my life.
Kamala is brat.
I said, let Trumpomania run wild, brother.
And as always, Wakanda forever.
They're eating the dogs. The people that came in, they're eating the cats.
What's your favorite curse word?
It starts with an M and it ends with Thank you all. Thank you.
Lights will guide you home and ignite your bones, and I will try to fix you.
A lot of wild stuff was said.
They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs.
I think I liked Hulkamania the most.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's sort of everything that went against Trump, then there was something to even it out. Like he said, there's people eating cats and dogs. Oh, you can't say that. And then, he would bring out Hulk Hogan, and everyone's like, oh, actually, I might vote for that guy. He's got some pretty cool people in his corner,
It's the Liam, Ben and Bell podcast. Liam owes me $50 for saying that.
13 24 10. What strange memorabilia are you holding on to? There is a slice of the wedding cake from the Queen's wedding that has just sold for $5,000.
The Queen's wedding?
The Queen's wedding in 1947.
Whoa, that's some old cake.
That is some... this slice of cake that just sold for thousands of dollars, it was found in Scotland under a lady's bed. She died in the 80s, and then it was kept in her family home under her bed in a suitcase.
Whoa. And you know what? I still think I've had dry cakes in my time. Someone gives you some homemade cake and you go, oh, it's very moist. It's very moist. And yeah, not really. It's actually taken all the saliva out of my mouth.
She's been holding on to it. She held on to it for 40 years.
It's a long time.
And then it's been held on to for almost another 40 years.
$5,000 as well for a piece of cake. I mean, surely.
the Queen's cake.
It's Queen cake.
Priceless.
Yeah. Well, it's $5,000 actually. But surely it'd be a bit moldy, a bit crusty at this point, right?
Well, I guess it's less about eating it, more about the sentimental value of having a moldy piece of cake that is the Queen's cake.
It's the Queen's birthday. Yeah,
and it also apparently it came alongside a letter saying thank you for attending with her signature and stuff. So you're paying for that as well. Right? It's not just the cake.
Yeah. Well, look, there are some big royalists out there. Angie in Sydney, what's the strange memorabilia that you're holding on to?
I'm holding on to a really old turtle shell.
Okay. Like an actual turtle shell?
An actual turtle shell, like a big sea turtle shell.
Where'd you get it from?
My grandparents were gifted it in the 1950s in Fiji when they got married by the chief of the village.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, that's really cool. I mean, have you taken it on Antiques Roadshow or anything like that? Have you had it valued?
No, but what I did do was make my mother drill holes in it
thread shoelaces through it so I could wear it on my back as a child and pretend to be a Ninja Turtle.
That is, I mean, Angie, thank you for the call, but I feel like that's disrespectful.
To that 200-year-old tortoise.
Yeah.
And probably to the tribal meaning behind it all. Like,
Yeah.
it's this sacred, and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm Leonardo. I'm like, wow, that's really realistic, Angie.
Oh, my gosh.
Angie, thank you very much. Because you're our first caller for this one, we're going to give you a NutriBullet flip.
Woohoo! Thanks, guys.
No worries. We have got more to give away tonight. 13 24 10. Give us a buzz.
Yeah, is it an old turtle shell? Maybe it's some crusty cake from the 40s. 13 24 10. What strange memorabilia are you holding on to?
Karen in Melbourne, good evening. What are you holding on to?
A really old card packet size packet of tobacco made by Tally-Ho that's about 40 years old and it's still sealed.
Yeah, right.
Is that worth a bit of money or?
Yeah, it would be. It'd be worth a few hundred now, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that's the same price as a pack of cigarettes, I'm guessing, but yeah.
Good on you, Karen.
Right. Linda in Melbourne, what are you holding on to?
Hi, guys. Love your show, but I miss you in the morning.
Oh, thanks, Linda.
Thanks, Linda. Well, thanks for spending your nights with us.
In 1985, my cousin and I went to the Spandau Ballet concert, and Martin Kemp used to wear long pearl necklaces in a little knot, and he used to throw them out in the audience. So my cousin grabbed her, had a bit of a scrag fight with a girl in the audience, and clawing here and there, and she's got the pearls.
Yeah, right. So you're in the Spandau mosh pit, if you will. It's getting, yeah.
Yes.
And so what, Linda? They would just give out pearl necklaces to whoever wanted. They would just throw them out.
No, he used to wear them, and every now and then, like, he'd throw them out into the crowd, and
Yeah.
the girls would go absolutely crazy over it.
But they're not real pearls. Like, they'd be...
I mean, it's still, it's a bit, it's something that you could see in a Hard Rock cafe, but not near the John Lennon stuff, but it would be, it'd still be pretty good. Maybe at a lower part of the
at the back near the toilets.
Yeah, one of the worst tables.
Thanks, Linda.
Matt in Sydney, you're holding on to some strange memorabilia yourself.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, got a drive at the cast and all that of the Biggest Loser. One of the first or second episodes, we used to be a service agent. I used to have the dryer. I've got the dryer still that I used to dry their clothes in.
So hang on. So you've got the dryer that you used to dry the clothes of the Biggest Loser contestants in.
Yeah, it basically started stuffing up, so we had to give them a new one. That's part of the contract. But yeah, I ended up with the old one. I've got a couple. I'm a appliance repairer.
Yeah.
So yeah, still got it. Got a couple others, basically similar. So I sold them for $50, but that one I held on to.
What else have you got? Well, you've got the washing machine or the dryer. What else?
No, well, I've also got So from even bloody what's the cooking one?
MasterChef.
MasterChef. I used to set up all the Arison appliances as well, so I've got the packaging and stuff like that, and one of the knives from MasterChef.
Wow.
you could have an Australian TV museum at your house, Matt.
Getting a tour of Matt's house and you walk around the house and you go, yep, that's the dryer from
that.
season 2 of The Biggest Loser.
Still smells like Shannon. If you put your head in there, It smells like Commando.
Still got his undies in there. Thank you very much, Matt. 13 24 10. What strange memorabilia are you holding on to?
Yeah, Mark in Melbourne, what are you holding on to?
Hi, I'm actually holding on to a piece of the Berlin Wall.
You know what? I've also got a little bit of that, Mark. I bought a fridge magnet from. Did you buy it in Berlin? Like from they have the guys that sell it at the wall.
I didn't. My brother did. He was over there when the wall came down in 1989 or whatever it was.
Yeah, Liam, I don't think he's calling because he bought a souvenir. I think, Mark, you genuinely have a piece.
You guys always try and say
mine's an actual piece off the wall.
Yeah.
How big is yours compared to Liam's? I've seen Liam's. It's not big. How big's yours, Mark?
Mine's not that big either. It's probably, I don't know, maybe around 10 10, 12 centimetres in diameter.
Oh, that's bigger than Liam's. Liam's is only like 2 centimetres.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, it's 2 centimetres more of the Berlin Wall than you got, mate, okay? They're always trying to tell me, oh, no, that's just a tourist trap. You didn't actually buy... There was a lot of that wall, mate. They got to turn it into something. Magnets for tourists, I think.
I'm sure your wife Sarah also loves that little bit of the Berlin Wall, Liam. Mark in Sydney.
Was that a joke about me having a small penis? Because that was a stretch.
Wasn't that whole thing a joke about your penis, mate? 2 centimetres, his was 12.
You got to stop talking about my penis, my friend.
I reckon that's what everyone
I
else
think
is thinking.
Mark in Sydney's getting uncomfortable. You okay there, Mark? You still with us?
Yeah, I'm still with you.
Sorry about talking about penis so much, Mark.
A little bit of penis chat there.
A bit of penis chat for the boys. Yeah. Love it. Do you want to talk about yours or?
No.
How big's your piece of the Berlin Wall?
We'll move on. Anyway, you're holding on to something that belongs to the royals. Is that right?
It's correct. I've got a necklace from Princess Diana.
Whoa. Okay, that's a big deal.
Sorry, a what?
A necklace from Lady Di herself. How did you get onto that one?
Well, in her party days, as everyone knows, she used to fling off a lot of jewellery. And one of my family friends acquired it, gave it to a friend for her 21st, and I bought it off her a few years ago.
Whoa.
I mean, how much did you pay for that sort of thing?
$10,000.
Whoa. That'd be worth more than that, though, I reckon.
Much more.
Mark, where do you keep it? Like, what do you do with it?
My mum and dad have it in a safe spot at their house.
Yeah.
And where do they live?
Would you like to know?
I mean, we're not beating that, are we?
That is outstanding, Mark. Thank you so much. Let's see. We got Trill in Melbourne. What's your major collection your dad's got?
Yeah, so my dad has every single solitary McDonald's toy in mint condition still in the bag from 1993 to 2013. So 20 years worth of McDonald's toys.
No. Whoa.
Yeah, every single one.
You're saying there's not a single one missing. He's got every Mick Happy Meal toy from, when did you say, 1990 when?
1993 to 2013. Every single one, guaranteed.
So does that mean that, did he have to buy that many Happy Meals?
Yeah, well, the McDonald's that we used to go to, because I was like 9 or 10 at the time, they knew Dad after a little while of him going in and going, oh no, that's not the toy of the week, it's this one. So they knew him, put a toy away from him for him every week, and he'd come in and grab it and pay, I think, like $2 for it or $1 for it back in the day.
Okay, well, hang on. Let me do a little test here. So you check your collection.
Yeah.
Do you have the little like Game Boys that they had? They had like a little soccer game, and they.
I have that one still.
The little, like in the little.
Yeah,
like,
it was like a
little
tiny little. Yeah.
Yeah, if it came out between those years, 100%.
All right,
I
okay,
would have it.
I'll do another test. Do you have the glow in the dark nugget with a little
Nugget?
Franken?
Yes,
Okay,
the
all right.
Dracula one.
Okay, hang on. Do you have
I can
the?
send you a photo of the.
Yeah, no, I'd love to see. Do you have the Bionicles?
Yeah, I'd have them, absolutely. I've got the Sydney 2000 Olympics,
Yes.
like all of those.
Oh man.
Yeah, he's even got like they bought out like video games, like McDonald's video games on like CDs, everything, like even the boxes. Like he was methodical with his collection.
I mean, this is I mean, that is actually nuts. Like, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Surely Uncle Ronald has he had any acknowledgement from the McDonald's Corporation?
No, I don't think so. He doesn't really talk about it much. It's just a weird collection that he's got, and yeah.
Wow.
I mean, that is crazy.
Yeah, could you send us some photos if that's okay? We'd love to see it.
Yeah, 100%. There's about 28 boxes full of them. Which, let me know which ones, and I'll dig through them and find them. But yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
We'll
definitely
take
the glow in the dark nugget.
Oh, man. That is a classic. I mean, he'd be losing his mind over this Grimace Shake stuff at the moment. Big time for a